Let's talk about the biggest news. I guess the biggest news would be The Rock becoming a board member. And, this is amazing to see. I got very wearing, like, depending on the day you ask me about how. Hey, beautiful people, real quick, man. Apparently, 76% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed. Now, I don't know if y'all don't got accounts or something, or what's going on, or y'all allergic to it, but hit that subscribe button. Also, like the video, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Do your boy a favor. Come on. I feel about The Rock. It would be very positive or very negative. He was my first favorite wrestler. The first time I knew how to do was to raise the eyebrow like The Rock. I forgot how to do it now. I could still raise it a bit, but I can't do it like I used to when I was a kid. And it's amazing to see a. Now, to be fair, it's not necessarily WWE, but it is the overall, like, the partner company of WWE. TKO, he's a board member there, and again, it's amazing to see. I know he had a great relationship with the UFC before, before the whole merger and stuff like that, and I believe they were doing. He had something to do with the UFC before the merger, and he's one of the greatest of all times, and it's something I thought about earlier. Like, that man was only a full-time wrestler for about 6 years. I know I believe his first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 14. That's what, 1998. So up until about 2003. So he was about a full time wrestler for about 6, 7 years. Like, it's amazing to see how big of a star this man was, and it'll never be able to truly be like, summer, like, you can never really give it justice because he was before social media. He was, again, only 6 years, but man, it's not nuts to have that man as the greatest wrestler of all time. It's not nuts to have that man as a Mount Rushmore wrestler, and the influence, and you can't have the attitude era without him. You can't have even the ruthless aggression era without him, and the people he helped on the way out, such as Brock Lesnar, Jeff Hardy. Even though Jeff Hardy would go and leave, but he helped out Jeff Hardy. He helped out Goldberg, Hurricane, even, and it's still he's given so much back to the company, and for me, I believe I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. He's he's one of the greatest of all time. He seems very much like a good dude. Although the last, what, 7, 8 years of his wrestling hasn't necessarily come off great, and even not necessarily wrestling, but the stuff he does in WWE hasn't come off great. And even the stuff he does outside of WWE, such as having a stranglehold or a stronghold over Hollywood, doesn't come off the greatest, and he does come off as very much like a PG version of himself now. And but you gotta respect it, man. As a minority, as somebody who I believe he was actually bullied backstage by the Clique, and coming up where he came from and how he wasn't even supposed to be a wrestler. He wanted to make it to the NFL, but he had I believe, a bad knee injury. He had to switch to WWE, and other than that first gimmick, that first Rocky Maivia gimmick, he's been amazing. He's been amazing. Whether he was a heel with the Nation of Domination, whether he was the corporate champion, the People's champion, Hollywood champion, like, he was amazing. And up until about, again, 7 to 8 years ago, in wrestling, he's perfected it. He's perfected it, and he does enough to. Now he just, like, does enough to work the crowd. And one thing he was talking about was WrestleMania with not necessarily WrestleMania, but he brought it up to WrestleMania with, like, working one more match and who it would be, and he got asked that, and he said it got to be Roman Reigns. And of course, that's what it's going to be. If The Rock is going to have one more match, it's going to be Roman Reigns. I'm not necessarily. The action is not something you go, like, be looking forward to. You're not looking at The Rock to have a 5-star match. I believe he 50. The dude was breathing heavy after a spine buster, bro. Like, if you're expecting a 5-star match out of it, You're not, it's just gonna bring eyes. The story is gonna be great. The head of the table type of deal. I know who better win because we do not need twice in a lifetime again. And I think he's basically hinting towards the fact that what my theory was, they're gonna do another John Cena versus The Rock build where they build it up for over a year, and that's the smart move. That's how you get the most eyes. He brought up how if we do something like that, we got to get the most eyes on it. We got to do this, we got to do that. Basically saying that you can't rush something like that. You can't rush it. You got to build it up you got to build it up, and you got to get the most eyes on it in general. And that basically confirmed my theory of like we have nothing to worry about as in WrestleMania 40. Now WrestleMania 41, when the Tribal Chief doesn't have a championship, he'll be free, and that is definitely going to close out the show. So unless, otherwise, like somebody cuts another pipe bomb and becomes a global superstar again, like CM Punk did 13 years ago now. Jesus Christ. Wow. But, that's going to be the main event of WrestleMania 41, and I'm glad. I just hope I used to think like, okay, what if he like cost Roman the title? But I would probably just rather him make an appearance at WrestleMania 40 and then challenge Roman the night after. I don't know if I want him to basically hand the title to Cody Rhodes. So I don't know, but that's the Rock news. And again, I'm happy for him. Kudos to him. He was my first favorite wrestler, and he doesn't sniff my top 5 of current wrestlers right now, or even top 20 of wrestlers I want to see wrestle. But as you gotta admire him. You gotta admire him. He's one of the hardest working people, it seemed like, and I'm happy for him.